Hi guys, let's talk about the state of insecurity in the city of Nairobi. I'm pretty sure by now you have most likely heard that there have been cases of people being mugged and unfortunately a number of people losing their lives in the city of Nairobi in recent past. And this so because of the increase in insecurity in the city. In this video, I'm gonna be analyzing, commenting on this situation for us to get at least at the root cause of this, to understand why this is happening, and most importantly, what we could do as a country to assist alleviate this situation. You are all much welcome to the Money Daily YouTube channel. My name is Afagza Sifuna. And by the way, if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel. Subscribe for you to be getting daily videos on how you could increase your money and also on current affairs. Having said that, I know by now you understand that these cases have actually been widespread in the city of Nairobi, not just in any given localized area. Different areas, different hoods in the city have reported different cases of mugging, people having their phones being snatched by motorbike operators out there and so forth. And unfortunately, even a good number of people out there getting stabbed and the process ending up losing their lives. Which, by the way, is a very unfortunate situation, and in no way in this video am I condoning crime. In fact, I'm condemning it in the strongest terms possible. But also, we live in some reality which we need to understand and also analyze for us to be able to make our society better. Personally, I think this current wave of crime stems from three key things, which we all, as citizens of Kenya and also the government, need to address to make our country safe and also to make our country more economically prosperous. The very first thing, which I think is contributing highly to this crime, mostly in urban centers in Kenya, of course, it has been in climax in the city of Nairobi, but also in other cities out there, in other urban centers, there is also a rise of cases of crime out there. And the very first reason is because of unemployment. Let's face it, unemployment in Kenya is very rampant. We have lots of people out there who've gone to school, who have studied different disciplines out there, graduated with either diplomas, degrees, master's degrees, and even others PhDs who are actually unemployed. And this ends up adding to the pressures which people are experiencing out there. You can imagine people out there are supposed to survive, people out there are supposed to cater for their expenditures and so forth, and yet they don't have a means of getting money, which is the main cause of this problem actually. And then secondly, we're talking about a problem of increased cost of living. Of course, because of global recession and also the inflation hitting very high also in the country here also, we've seen people out there struggling much to even put food on their table, right? And with this increase in the cost of living, it is actually pushing people to the limit to think about how they're going to get their next meal and so forth. And if you didn't know, by the way, a good number of Kenyans out there are surviving on just a meal per day. Gone are the days what people had a lecturer, for example, surviving on 3 meals a day. Right now, most of people out there are surviving on a meal per day as they think about what they're going to consume the follow-up day. And then, guys, the third thing, which I think most of the times is brushed under the carpet, is that also youths out here are facing very, very strong waves of social and economic pressures. What do I mean? There is what a society expects of a person to be an ideal person. More so in case someone's background looks kind of like a good background, they expect some people to achieve some kind of living standards, for example. They expect, for example, people out there to have some kind of financial muscle, which, because of this dire economic situation in the country, high unemployment and high cost of living, it's actually pushed many people out there to survive day by day. And yet, the society still expects them to lead some kind of life. All these socioeconomic pressures out there are actually pushing the youth out there to the trenches of engaging in crime and other social evils out there. Having said that, what can we do as a country to at least alleviate this situation? Now let's talk about 5 things which we could possibly do as a country to assist us end this wave of crime and, most importantly, turn around our economy for us to be a prosperous country. I think the very first thing which needs to happen is actually to address unemployment which is facing the youth in the country. And by the way, in no means am I saying this is just a government prerogative. It is a prerogative of everyone out there, you, me, and the government. In case, for example, you have the means to create employment, we can all try our best to see how we can create employment out there so that many more people in our country have a means of earning a living. Of course, the government is expected to do much on this front, but also there is so much the government can do. And in fact, even within the government system, we're going to see lots of retrenchments and also a good number of people being sent home. So the future of job creation is going to be in the private sector and also individuals out there doing what they can to create jobs for others within the country so that all of us can be able to have a prosperous economy. And then the second thing which needs to happen is that the government needs to take a shorter duration of time for them to be able to stabilize the consumer price index. In essence, to tame the runaway inflation, which that catapulted together with the global recession is pushing the prices of commodities out there high and high. The most important thing that needs to happen is that the government needs to take the shortest time possible to be able to stabilize the prices of commodities in the country and also to curtail the runaway inflation. Through doing that is going to assist people out there to be able to have stable budgets, for them to be able to have predictability with regards to what the future of their spending holds, right? And then the third thing which needs to happen is that also the society as a whole needs to be a bit more tolerant to the youths out there. We need to tame down on the pressures which society is exerting on the youths out there, more so putting the pressures on them that they need to become successful as soon as possible, putting pressures on them, for example, they need to start families as soon as possible, and so forth. These kind of pressures out there are driving you to the trenches of crime, and these needs to stop or actually needs to slow down so that everyone out there understands that they need to develop or even they need to grow economically at their own pace, right? And then the fourth thing which needs to happen is that we as a country, most of the youth, need to have a change in mindset. What do I mean? Gone are the days where the majority of the country would sit down and then pretend or even live the reality that they are all consumers and everything will be coming to their plates, everything will be coming to their ends, and so forth. We need to have a shift in mindset in that the huge chunks of youths out there need to understand that for us to prosper as a country, for us to end this wave of crime, and even for us to have a brighter future, we need to start having producer mentality. In that, we need to be proactive with regards to what we can do, exploit our talents, exploit our abilities, exploit any other skills we have out there for us to be able to earn a living or even to get an income. And if all of us can do that, just think about it. For example, in case you have three side hustles which you can do, another person has the same kind of side hustles which they can do. Ultimately, all of us are going to be able to earn a living in some way, and hopefully, this wave of crime is going to end up reducing, and also as a country, all of us are going to be able to contribute to the economy in a positive way. And then the fifth thing, which I think is more so on the prerogative of the government, is that we need to have a huge shift with regards to our education system. Of course, the CBC has started this, but I think even to the tertiary level, we need to invest more on these kind of skills which are practical on the ground. We're having year in, year out, we're churning hundreds of thousands of graduates out there who have classroom knowledge with little practice or apprentice, if any. And this, unfortunately, is actually adding to this bunker of graduates who are waiting for blue collar jobs out there. And of course, we have very few blue chip companies out there or even big companies out there which are going to hire all these graduates who are waiting and are anticipating to get the few slots in these good companies out there. So we need to have a shift in that. Right from our education system, people understand that they need to become producers, they need to use their skills to be able to make a living. What do you think?